Operators perform operations on variables and values. Where variables are the data, operators are the instructions as to what to do with that data. The most obvious type of operator you're probably familiar with is the arithmetic operator. They do math. So we've seen the addition operator already. 1 plus 1 is 2. Let's go over a few other arithmetic operators that Python makes available for us. This is the multiplication operator. It's an asterisk. It obviously multiplies numbers together. Pretty straightforward. And this is the exponent. So this is 5 raised to the second power, which is 25. We can do division with a forward slash. So 20 divided by 5 is 4. And notice that this returns a float value rather than an integer. Anytime you do division, you're going to get a float or a decimal value back. That's because you might not always get a whole number as the result of that division. So if I do 20 divided by 6, it's obviously a float, right? So these math operations are all pretty straightforward, but there's one that's really kind of specific to programming that we need to cover, and that's the modulus operator. The modulus operator gives you the remainder after any division. For example, if I do 20 modulus 6, I get 2 back because 20 divided by 6 is 18 with a remainder of 2. And this operation comes up a lot in programming. Personally, I use it all the time, and we'll see why in the video on mathematical operators a little later in this course. There are a couple of basic operations we can do with strings as well. So I mentioned string concatenation earlier, string 1 plus string 2. And so this is the addition operator using strings, and it just concatenates or sticks them together. So you can also do string multiplication. String 1 multiplied by 4, and that repeats that string 4 times. So with the concatenation or the addition with strings, obviously this takes a string and a string. It operates on 2 strings. This operates on a string or a number. If I do, string plus 4, I'm going to get an error there. So just make sure you pay attention to the types of the variables you're working with. And remember this one because it's a really handy trick if you want to do a lot of repeated strings. All right, so let's look at another set of operators. These are comparison operators, logical operators, identity operators, and membership operators. Okay, it sounds like a lot, but they're all really straightforward, and you don't have to remember which group each operator is in. These operators all evaluate 2 variables or values and produce a Boolean, true or false. The first is the comparison operator, which we've already seen. So true is equal to true. That's the double equal sign is the comparison operator. You can also do less than. 4 is less than 5. You can do less than or equals to. All right, let's do 5 is less than equals to 5. That's true. And of course, you can do the greater than. 5 is greater than 2. And 5 is greater than or equal to 2. So all pretty straightforward. Then let's look at the logical operators. Logical operators are actually just plain English words. They operate on Booleans. There are 3 logical operators, and, or, and not. With the and operator, both sides have to be true, evaluate to true. So true and true. If I did true and false, that's false. Remember, this has to be true and that has to be true. The other one is the or operator. So true or false. This side or that side. So the only situation where this evaluates to false is if I do false or false. Then the not operator. This is a little bit special. It only operates on one thing at a time and simply flips the Boolean that it's operating on. So if I say not true, that's false. If something is not true, it's false. If something is not false, it's true. It just flips whatever this variable is. So membership operators are also nice English words. And the 2 membership operators are in and not in. So you can write 1 in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you get true. You can say 10 in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's obviously false. 10 does not appear in this list. But if I say 10 not in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's true. You can also do this with strings. So cat in my pet cat. The string cat appears in this string. Of course, keep in mind that the word cat is also in catatonic, so be careful when you're using this trick in Python when you're dealing with strings. Of course, if I put not in here, as you can imagine, that simply flips the value. All right, so that was a whirlwind through the concept of operators. If you didn't quite catch everything, don't worry. We'll be circling back around and putting this to practice later on.